This video, I'm going to tell you how learning ukulele has really helped me with my mental health, especially with the stress of being a dad.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
Hi there, my name's James, and thank you so much for checking out how to ukulele your mental health. Just a bit of an introduction. I've struggled with my mental health on and off since my teens, and I've always been looking for things that can help reduce my anxiety, and I found lots of things that have helped, in particular being creative and learning the ukulele. When we went into lockdown in March 2020, I knew that sort of the change to my daily routine of just being indoors and not at work could potentially be a struggle. So I thought I needed to put my mind to work and learn something. So I thought, why not learn an instrument? So I bought a ukulele. The first one I bought was the brown one in the background. I bought it for about £20. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. It was secondhand, nothing wrong with it. Just ukuleles are fairly inexpensive as instruments go, and therefore it's often quite a good one to learn on. It's much easier, I find, than a guitar. I did try to learn the guitar years ago, but I've got quite fat fingers, so I find the ukulele just easier to hold and easy to use. And I think because it's an easier instrument, you're more likely to keep going with it. You see, I found more success. I found that once I'd learned about 2 or 3 chords that I'll teach you in this course, I found once I'd learned how to do that, I could play about 40 or 50 songs, really easy, popular songs that I could either play, or in the case of my YouTube channel, that I could change the lyrics and parody in an attempt to amuse people, where I'm just singing songs about my life as a dad and a husband and someone who struggles with mental health, to hopefully raise awareness about the things that I think a lot of people struggle with these days. Jack, is Daddy good at the ukulele?
No.
I'm going to show you how to play.
No.
Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate your support. If you'd like to do me a big favour and help me grow the channel, please subscribe there. And if you're keen to watch the next video and learn the next chord, please click there. Sorry, I'm being kicked by a small child. That's not helpful.
Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest. Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
So, welcome to lesson 1, where basically I just introduce the ukulele. Right, this is the first ukulele I ever bought. It's a soprano ukulele. I bought it for £20 on Facebook Marketplace. And as you see, I think it was the woman who bought this obviously played right-handed. I had to swap the strings over. Really simple thing to do that you can do to make it easier to learn, and you don't have to do this. I just wrote the name of the strings. So this string is a G string, and you've got the C string, and then you've got the E string, and you've got the A string. No, basically these 4 strings are the strings you need to play lots of chords. And once you know about, sorry, messing around with the camera. Once you know these 4 chords, you can basically, once you know about 4 to 6 chords, you can play loads of songs. It's really good. I'm still very much a learner, but I sing Happy Birthday every day on TikTok and YouTube, my YouTube channel with my ukulele. I've also parodied lots of songs. I've managed to actually set up a Fiverr business, sort of a side hustle, where I create jingles for people, or I do personalised songs, or I stitch TikTok things. So it's amazing once you start something like this. I mean, I started this just to give my sort of anxious mind something to do during the lockdown. But once you start doing these things, it's amazing where it can go. If all you get from this is that you learn play to instrument, have a bit of fun, and you have a bit of time in your day where you're not anxious about things. Because I think when you're playing music, or when you're being creative, when you're writing a song or something, you're in the present. And I think when you're in the present, you're not worried, you're less worried. I find that my problems and anxieties are very much when I'm worrying about something in the past that I can't control, or to an extent also worrying about something in the future that I can't control. when I'm playing a song, especially if I'm playing a song to wish someone happy birthday. Just good, just a good thing. So basically what I'll do with the, I'll teach you some chords. I will put in the section, I'll write down in the subtitles sort of where each finger needs to be on the string. But as I said, I'm very much a beginner. If you want to learn sort of fingering patterns and basically how to play the ukulele properly, I suppose, then you probably need to get a teacher. But there's so much online that if you've got a bit of, if you're prepared to sort of learn and you want to start that journey of learning something, then everything you need is online to an extent. And I find quite often just doing a little bit, but often you'll create your own sort of interest. And once you start interacting with people and playing songs and writing songs, even if it's stuff that you write that makes you laugh or amuses you or gives you an outlet, then it just creates itself. And then you just, as you see, one ukulele turns into 3 ukuleles, and it goes from playing silly songs on TikTok to a YouTube channel and hopefully a side hustle that might become a business one day. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to need to do, obviously I've introduced the ukulele. This is a soprano ukulele. I've shown you the strings. You need to tune the strings. I will put a link. There's loads of, if you put ukulele tuner into Google or into YouTube, loads will come up, and it's important to do. And after a while, you might actually not need it because you might be able to sort of just learn from sound. Not quite sure what I'm talking about now. Right, okay, so the first chord I'm going to teach you, really simple, which is a C chord. So pointer finger, index finger, ring finger. So ring finger, third finger, okay. That sounds awful. Okay, so this is the ukulele I tend to use every day now. I don't really use the other two. This is a tenor ukulele. Again, I bought it, I think it was about maybe £50. It was secondhand for £50, but you'll find that most of them are in really good condition. I mean, this was fairly mint condition. I think the guy, he was a ukulele guitar teacher. He'd used it and just, you know, had no use for it anymore. It was right-handed, so I had to restring it, which was really simple. So yeah, so a C chord with your ring finger on the, so basically between the second and the third fret. That is your C chord. My wife is hitting the window. She's been for a run. I need to let her in. That's lesson 1.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
Got loads of presents for Christmas. Sorry about this.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
Hi there, my name's James, and thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. I'm on a mission to try and raise global morale and my own mental health by playing the ukulele and talking about dad issues and mental health issues. I have struggled to talk. Oh, here we go, first interruption. What's the matter now? Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. As a dad of 3, trying to do anything beyond looking after them is impossible, but it is possible. So yes, I have struggled with my mental health on and off since my teens, and I've found lots of techniques that have helped me manage my intrusive thoughts, one of which is learning the ukulele. So I thought, I can't be the only dad out there who struggles. So I thought I would do a course of how to learn the ukulele. Right, so in last week's lesson we learnt the C chord. You play the C chord. Right, by putting your ring finger, the third finger, on the 3rd fret. Off you go! So you play the C chord by putting your ring finger on the 3rd fret and then playing all the strings, and that's a C chord. And you'll find that actually a C chord is in loads and loads of songs. Once you can play 4 chords, you can play loads of songs. It's awesome. So we're going to move on to the F chord. Now at F, ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. To pause here for a moment for a workout. Hang on. G string, C string. Right. So, ring finger on the second fret of the G string. And the index finger on the first fret of the... Sorry, I'm being a bit dumb here. On the E string. And that's an F chord. It's an incredibly versatile chord. It's in loads of songs. So, ring finger, second fret, G string. Index finger, first fret, E string. And that's your F chord. And the good thing about the F chord is you can play your first song. So we've got C, C, F. Please don't wind each other up. I'm really not in the mood today. You now know how to play the C chord and an F chord, and then I'm back to C chord, which means you can play Bob Marley's Three Little Birds. It's an awesome song with only use of 2 chords. Off you go! If, like me, you struggle with intrusive thoughts, you can make silly songs up, a bit like this one. Thank you. So yes, so that is lesson 2, the F chord. We now know the C chord and the F chord. Sorry for the interruptions with my children. It is the world I live in.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
Opening a yo-yo.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
Hi there, my name's James and thank you so much for checking out my course, How to Play the Ukulele and Comedy Songwriting. I think that's the title, may well not be. Okay, so this is lesson 3 and, sorry, it's this is lesson 3. We have learned, lesson 1 we learned the C chord, that's a C chord. And then lesson 2 we learned the F chord. And today we're going to learn the G chord. Basically, this is the third of, I think, 4 chords that once you can play these 4 chords, you can play loads of songs and you can start writing your own silly songs and hopefully making people laugh and improving your mental health like I have done. But ultimately, it's just a bit of a laugh, and playing an instrument is good for your mental health because it's creative. What you doing? If you can't play nicely, you have to go to bed. The good thing about learning an instrument is it gives you license to sort of hide from your kids. What you doing? Oh, flipping hell. It's opening a yo-yo. Come on then. Thank you, Daddy. Off you go. Can you close the door, please? Can you close the door? Good boy. A string, C string, E string. This is my first ever ukulele, a soprano ukulele. It cost me 20 quid, Facebook Marketplace. And I wrote down the name of the strings. And as you can see, I still haven't learned them. But that did help. That does help. So there you go. You all right? Okay, to play the G chord, you're going to need your index finger on the A string, which is that string. You're going to need your middle finger on the quick check on the second fret of the C string, and then your ring finger on the third fret of the quick check on the E string. It should sound a bit like that. So now we've got, so there, it looks like that. Sort of, although you can't see because my fingers are the way. Should sound like that. I will write it down in the subtitles. So we've got a C chord, F chord, and a G chord. Once you know those 3 chords, you can play this song. Starts with C, 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 C chord, C, 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 then it goes to F, F back to C. Still G chord haven't found. F chord what I'm looking for. C chord. Na 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 na. You get the general idea. So that was lesson 3. We now know the C chord, the F chord, and the G chord. So next lesson, lesson 4, we will learn the last chord, which I think you need to learn of the 4 chords. Then you can play loads of great stuff. And then beyond that, I will teach you how I go about writing some very silly songs that really only ever make me and at best my 3-year-old son laugh. I hope wherever you are in the world you're okay. And if you would like to drop me a line, I would love to hear from you. You can email me at mydadmissions@gmail.com. Take care, bye-bye.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour. Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
In this week's lesson, I'm going to teach you the A minor. The A minor. That's it.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour.
Hi there, my name's James and thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. I'm on a mission to try and raise global morale. Not by playing that. Global morale by singing happy birthday every day and posting videos about how to play the ukulele and do other stuff that hopefully might take your mind off the stress of being a parent or just a human being in 2022. So this is lesson 4, and today's lesson I'm going to teach you how to play the A minor. The A minor. The A minor, I think, is one of the 4 chords that make up the majority, I know what I'm talking about now. The majority of chords you play when you're a beginner. You learn a C chord and a G chord. Children messing around outside. G chord and an F chord. And the A minor, which sounds similar to the F, but not really. So to play the A minor, I'm going to move my sausage finger so you can see it. So to play the A minor, you basically want to put, I think you're supposed to put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. I'll be honest, I tend to put my ring finger, which is probably naughty, or I'm not sure the ukulele police are going to cart me away just yet. And I think I do that because I often go from A minor to F, so I want to use those fingers. The A minor is a great chord because when you play the A minor, you can play songs like this. Written on the wall in what looks like permanent pen, that is a bum head. I don't know what upsets me more, that the B looks like a 6 or the permanent pen. I've just survived 3 whole days of childcare, catering to their every need. One word was said constantly, Daddy. When every mess has finally been cleaned up, that number 2 from number 3. Netflix and Disney, can you save me? Rescue me. Rescue me. Rescue me. Rescue me. Rescue me. Rescue me. I hope my wife's bus isn't late again. Rescue me. Can you speak any Spanish? Yes, I can, I did it at GCSE, at GCSE, at GCSE. I'm basically fluent, basically fluent, basically fluent. Here goes un bocadillo de queso, un bocadillo de queso, y jamona, y jamona, y jamon. Told you I was fluent. Told you I was fluent. Told you I was fluent. There you go. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate your support. If you'd like to do me a big favour and help me grow the channel, please subscribe there. And if you're keen to watch the next video and learn the next chord, please click there. Sorry, I'm being kicked by a small child. That's not helpful.
Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how to play a D major chord. A bit like that.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour.
Hi there, my name's James. Thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. I'm on a mission to try and amuse stressed out people by playing very silly, childish ukulele songs about being a dad. So today I'm going to show you how to play a D major chord, just in case I play left-handed, in case you're really confused, like he's holding it the wrong way around. Okay, so having watched videos from people who can actually play the ukulele quite well, I can say that what they're suggesting, let me just check. So to play it properly, you should have your middle a D major chord is awesome. It's in loads of songs, as I will demonstrate in a minute. And there are loads of ways to play it. I have to play it in a slightly cheaty way because I've got sausage fingers. So I can't get all 3 fingers on there without it. Oh, actually I did that quite well. No, that sounds rubbish. Right, okay, so what I tend to do is get my index finger and put my index finger on the 2nd fret of the G, C, and E string. And it should sound like that. That's a G major chord. G major chord's awesome because you can play songs like this. Here come lots of songs with G major in it. If you're a man from 4 to 40, there is a phrase a little bit naughty. It cuts through my depression like butter through knife. An added bonus, it annoys my wife. So let me hear you say, pull my finger, pull my finger. I have always been a fan of writing lists. Getting things done gives you dopamine. World's out to get you. Kick it in the bum by ticking off a list of things you've already done. You want to get things done? Me, a list writer, a shot of dopamine. When you see that it's done, I write lists. I'm a list writer, couldn't stop writing lists if I tried. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I genuinely appreciate it. And if you want to watch a very silly song in a foreign language, please click there. And if you want to help me and support the channel by subscribing, then please click there, you lovely legend. Take care, and I hope wherever you're in the world, you're okay.
Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as the rest.
Not helpful.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour.
In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play the E minor 7 chord. I love the E minor 7 chord. It's great. It's quite easy. It's only 2 fingers. Okay, so to play the E minor 7 chords, you put your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the C string, and then your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And that's an E minor 7 chord. It's a great chord. You can play silly songs like this. It's amusing, but it's not helpful. I'm free to eat whatever I want in the fridge, as long as it's not got a stick of St. Kitts packed lunch on it. I'm free to come straight home after work, as long as my wife doesn't need any milk. How can you expect me to become a ukulele legend if this tomfoolery in the background? Or cartridges for a printer, or anti-venom, or tickets to the pantomime, or stamps, or sourdough bread, or tickets to see Take That at the O2. Thank you so much for watching this video and for not staring at my cracked lip. Or tickets to go and see the Jersey Boys at the West End. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're okay. Take care, bye-bye.
Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as the rest.
Index finger, 1st fret, top string.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour.
Hi there, in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play the E7 chord on a ukulele, which will explain why I'm holding a ukulele as opposed to a banana, a Hoover I got for Christmas. So I don't know where this is going. When I say that, I mean the lesson, not my life. So to play the E7 chord, you need your index finger on the 1st fret of the G string. Well, don't play that on its own, it sounds horrible. Then you want your middle finger, careful where I put that so it's not rude, on the 2nd fret of the C string, just checking in the book, yep, C string. And then finally, you need your ring finger on the second fret of the A string, like that. You can't see because of my sausage fingers. I'm now going to totally contradict myself and actually show you how I play it. If you suffer from sausage-itis like I do, I like to put my middle finger on the G string, my ring finger on the C string. Up to you, but that's how it should sound, the E7 chord. It's a good chord, I like it. I'm sure there's loads of awesome songs you can play. This is a parody version of, or the chorus of a parody version of I'm on my way to Amarillo. Do you know the way to Amarillo? I don't think that's the title, but the song about Amarillo. My own shed with a built-in bar. Somebody puts all food in the car, E7. Maybe even some zigga-zigga. What do men really want? It's a good question. I don't think anyone knows quite often men, and I am one, apparently. Quite a quiet, uneventful lesson. My son's at nursery this morning, so it's a bit quiet. I'll be honest. I'm sure you'll agree it's missing something. I'm on a mission to try and improve my mental health, but also other people's mental health by posting silly songs and other stuff. If you want to help me grow my channel, I'd really appreciate it. Just click subscribe just there. And if you want to watch another video, click there. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest.
Just try and move it so it's not a massive pile of washing in the background.
Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour.
Hi there, my name's James, and thank you so much for watching this lesson. In this lesson of the course, sorry, I don't know why I'm shouting. In this lesson of the course of how to learn the ukulele and write silly songs to amuse, I'd like to say amuse your family and friends. That might be a stretch. I'll guarantee the only person you might make laugh is yourself, which actually is not a terrible thing. I create parody songs about all sorts of things. My life as a dad, someone who struggles with his mental health, just general life stresses in general. I said general a lot, last 20 seconds. In general. May well become B-roll, but we'll give it a go. I'm nervous. In general. I'm going to show you in this lesson how to write your first silly song. Basically, your first parody song. The song we are going to parody. You gotta fight for your ride. Party. A song that you would definitely not link with the ukulele. You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys. If you are my age, 40 or something, you'll definitely remember this. So yeah, basically the chords you're gonna need are all chords we've learned. I think now I'm panicking. A major chord. It's A major chord. I think it's A major chord. C chord. D chord. There are other chords, but I'm going to stick with these three because that one for the chorus chorus bridge. I don't really know what you describe it in this song. It's a D chord. D chord. And then the verse is A, C, D, A, C, D, A, C, D, A, C, D. Played better than that, but that's where you get the idea. Obviously, you can write your ridiculous parody song, whatever you want. People quite like it when you sing them a silly song, like at a birthday or I don't know. With the world the state is in, I think now has never been a better need for ridiculousness and silliness, just to remind ourselves that we're all okay and we're all human. And actually, if you can keep a smile on your face, you are basically, the battle is half won. But I do parody songs. Sorry, itchy nose. I do parody songs, not about itchy noses, but I have done a song about itchy nose. I'm gabbling. I do parody songs about the stresses of family life. So I'm going to do a song about parenting. And this is what I've come up with. We wake up late for school, the kids don't want to go. You bribe them with sweets, but they still say no. Dad, it's National Tinsel Day, so we need to take some tinsel. If we're late again, we'll get a fine from Lewis Council. You gotta fight to get them to school on time.
Creative break from the stress. Investing in your skills is as good as a rest. Parenting life is sweet and sour when they've asked the same questions at you for an hour.
Okay, so it's very important with everything to know why you're doing something. It's a bit of a, I mean, this can be, I imagine this transcends everything, but why am I trying to create parody songs to amuse people? Well, personally speaking, it really helps me with my mental health. If you're someone who's anxious, I have found just that any creative outlet really helps. It stops me worrying about all sorts of ridiculous things I can't control. And I think it's a bit like a puzzle, trying to work out a puzzle. So if I'm, in this case, I'm trying to build my YouTube channel and my TikTok page, and my niche, if you will, is basically what I know best, which is being a tired parent. So I suppose I'm trying to create my content to appeal to all other tired parents. Is that working? In the whole knowing your why, so for this project, for this parody song, I am basically trying to amuse some parents. Am I going to do the whole song? Am I going to try and parody the whole song? No, because in this day and age, people probably have anything at best a 20-second attention span. And if you're trying to grow on a platform like TikTok or YouTube, it is all about watch time. You're much better off posting a 20-second short and everyone watches all of it, or 18 seconds of it, than you put a 5-minute song on and people within 3 or 4 seconds click off. That will look bad as a percentage to YouTube or TikTok's algorithm, which is ultimately how you develop and grow. In that I've got 20 seconds, my mind is right. You'll probably do a verse and maybe the chorus. I've got to get 1, maybe 2 kind of jokes shoehorned into there. Choose a song that your target audience will know. So I'm in my 40s, so really the Beastie Boys were the 80s. Any song from the 80s or 90s is gonna tick a lot of nostalgic boxes. Nostalgic boxes, do they exist? Gonna tick a lot of the nostalgia boxes, which ultimately is I think why lots of social media is successful, because it taps on people's nostalgia boxes, nostalgic boxes. People might, oh yeah, I remember the Beastie Boys, and yeah, that's quite funny now that I'm a parent, and the Beastie Boys singing about the stress of trying to do the school run is hysterical, because it's the least likely thing you'd expect a Brooklyn-based hip-hop band to sing about. So I'm going to try and look at the verse, rewrite the verse, and ultimately I'm singing about the school run. So once you know your why, that really helps. You know your end point. You know where ultimately you want to be. So you're giving yourself, you need some barriers. You need to give yourself some restriction. Otherwise, it could go on forever and it just makes your job harder. So I know it needs to be about 20 seconds. I know I'm really only trying to rewrite 1 verse and maybe find a chorus. I've picked a song that's relevant. I've picked a song that people might know. I've picked a song I can play, more importantly. For example, this song has 3 chords in. I am very much still a beginner with the ukulele. So if I pick something and play it badly, people are going to click off. And bear in mind, people talk about the hook. You have literally seconds for people to go, no. Think about what you watch. Think about how quickly you scroll. You're giving people 2 or 3 seconds to, no, this just isn't funny, this isn't interesting, I'm not going to like this. That's, I think, why ultimately, I'm digressing slightly, why it is important to build a community. Because if you have people who follow you and are subscribed to you and have known you, they start to buy into your story. So they'll give you, first 10 seconds, this isn't good, but I know him and I like him and I've seen some of his other stuff before and it's made me laugh. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I might give him 20, 30 seconds. How do you rewrite your song? I go to a webpage called rhymezone.com. I put in the word I want to rhyme with, and it gives me probably 40 or 50 words that rhyme to 1 syllable, to 2 syllables, to 3 syllables. And that kind of helps me write my own song. So with that in mind, this is what I've come up with.
We wake up late for school, the kids don't want to go. You bribe them with sweets, but they still say no. Dad, it's National Tinsel Day, so we need to take some tinsel. If we're late again, we'll get a fine from Lewis Council. You gotta fight to get them to school on time. I think another key thing that you need to remember when you're trying to succeed in creating content is lower your expectations. So me spending a couple of days writing this silly song, it's fun. It's fun. I'm learning
More importantly, it's a much better use of my time than not doing it and sitting around feeling anxious and worrying, giving my brain that needs zero encouragement to overanalyze and over-worry about things time to do that. I'm giving it a job to do. But in the same time, I'm also learning a skill. I'm learning how to write songs. I'm learning how to rhyme songs. I'm learning how to play the ukulele. I'm learning how to create content. And you never know how your song may impact the world. I mean, we're getting a bit deep here, but I've had lots of lovely comments from all sorts of people who have been having difficult times. You know, you don't know, your song may well lighten someone's day. And that, if that's what you want, that's enough. Job one, it amused me and it made my day better. Well, I think that's enough reason to do it. You know, job two, I'm learning some skills by doing it. Brilliant. Learned, you know, three, I might be lightening someone's day. I think that's enough. And who knows? I think the exciting things about it is that I think when you get into your 40s, I'm massively digressing now. If you get into your 40s, it can be a danger of thinking, I kind of know what the rest of my life is like. If you find yourself being obsessed with nostalgia and really kind of thinking back to the good days, then I think you need to give yourself something to do. Whenever I put a post up or I put a song, it's a little bit like sowing seeds. I don't know where that might go. I don't know that the next post I do might be the song that blows my YouTube channel or my TikTok page up. And then all of a sudden, I've got some choices to give it some, I can't talk,
I now can't say the word perspective.
I've got a very small Fiverr business. All of my business comes from TikTok. The majority of my jobs are creating jingles for YouTube pages and TikToks. It's stuff that I enjoy doing. It's stuff that I'm doing anyway. This time last year, I was making nothing. This time last year, I didn't even know Fiverr existed. And the first 6 months, I made nothing. I think I literally made nothing. I did them for free. And then I think probably someone took pity me and probably thought, this poor guy, I'll pay him $5 to do me a jingle for my TikTok page. And then I looked after that customer. I gave them more than they wanted, or hopefully more than they expected. And it grew, they came back. And that's ultimately how you're doing it. And it's not my job, it's my hobby. But if you develop it, you might suddenly wake up one day and think, I'm actually doing what I want. I am my own boss. I'm earning really interesting money. Who knows? Sorry for the insane digressions that went into life coaching. If I can help you with some ideas, please let me know. Please contact me at mydadmissions@gmail.com and just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. And I think when you're starting this out, limit your expectations and I have one goal. I'm going to make a 10 or 20-second post based on 2 or 3 of the lines, maybe a verse, maybe a bit of a verse of a song that I like where I've heard the lyrics change and it made me laugh. If it makes you laugh or it entertains you, that's a really good starting place. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're okay. Take care. Hi there, my name's James and I'm on a dad mission to try and amuse exhausted parents by singing very silly parody songs. This is about the scene that you often see once you walk in the door at the end of a long day. It's a parody of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? It looks like she's surrendered. They've got her on her knees. The kitchen floor is half laminate and half macaroni cheese. Half a bottle of vino might just see her through. Just as long at bath time that no one does a poo. Can you do bath time tonight? They are driving me insane. It's rained all day. We've been in total lockdown. Just like Andy Dufresne. My own shed with a built-in bar. No muddy shoes or boots in the car. Maybe even some cigar. What do men really want? Being brought tea in the morning. When the kids don't tell me I'm boring. Falling asleep in a deck chair. Hear someone saying while you're down there. To all the ladies. Saying we just want one thing. Yes, it's on the short list. But so is Rocky Force training. Not sharing my memory foam pillow. A room temperature Tempranillo. To become a jiu-jitsu aficionado are also things I really want. It's almost Christmas, but will we get one? Or will Boris lock us down to protect us from the Omicron? Can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish to be stuck on the M25.
dribbling along at 10 miles an hour. Junction 13 of the M25. Boris, please, it was just a sneeze. They're pretty common this time of year. Please let us have our way, at least till Boxing Day. Boris, please, it was just a sneeze.
The 5 most searched questions by people who are about to become dads. Hi there, my name's James, and thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. If you've just found out you're a dad, don't panic, it's going to be amazing. If you've just become a dad, I hope you're getting some sleep, I hope you don't feel you're constantly in the doghouse, and I hope someone has taken the time to tell you you're doing much better than you think you are. Why did the tap dancer have to retire? He kept falling in the sink. I first became a dad on the 8th of November 2012. We now have 3 children, our eldest child being 13, our middle one being 11, and our youngest being 7. Question number 1. Am I ready to become a dad? I don't think anyone ever feels ready to become a dad. You will never feel like you have enough money. You will never feel like your relationship is in a strong enough position. You will never feel like you live in a nice enough or big enough home. You'll never feel like your job is secure enough. All I would say, if and when it happens to you, it is a genuine blessing. And you might find it's the one thing in your life that you're actually really good at, or much better than you thought you would be. Having a child is often a major change to all the dimensions of your life. It will completely change your identity. It will completely change how much sleep you get. But the thing I would try and remember is that people have been doing this for thousands of years. And if I look back at where I was in my life, in 2012, I think I was unemployed. I was living in a 2-bedroom basement flat in Brighton. I spent the majority of my time in board shorts and flip-flops, and I wasn't really sure where I was going with my life. And actually, I think becoming a dad was the kick up the arse I needed to find that extra gear to improve myself. When you become a dad, you will fall in love with your child. And don't be surprised if they become the main reason that you want to improve. When my daughter was born, I remember looking around and thinking, this isn't good enough. She deserves better. And from that point, I worked harder and I got better jobs and I earned more money and we bought a nicer house and a more reliable car. It is worth looking at what you have financially, where you live, how your relationship is, because bringing a baby into a world where you get on very well with your partner and you have some savings and you live in a nice, safe house and where you live is comfortable does make a difference. One of the main things I think you need to consider before having a child is your relationship with your partner, because it will change massively. And one of the best bits of advice is don't have a child with someone you don't genuinely like. Obviously, you have to fancy them, otherwise the whole conversation about having a child is fairly academic. But I can promise you, when neither of you have had any sleep for weeks, your partner's default setting is tracksuit bottoms and a sour milk stained t-shirt, and you're constantly in the doghouse, if your relationship isn't built on more than physical attraction, you may struggle. Becoming a parent will challenge you both in ways you can't possibly comprehend until it happens. It's important you're on the same page, have a similar work ethic, both have a sense of humour, and both generally like each other. And this leads on nicely to question number 2, how should I prepare for becoming a father? Well, obviously, this is a perfect time for me to plug my book, First Time Dad. If you want to buy, you can get via this website. One of the main reasons I wrote this book is because there wasn't much in the way of literature to support dads, especially regarding mental health, which is something I've struggled with on and off my entire life. In regards to how you can best prepare for fatherhood, do you have some savings? Do you have a job? Do you have somewhere to live? There is so much with becoming a parent that you can't plan. Your life will become quite chaotic. But there are some things you can plan. If you're the middle flat and have neighbours above and below who are either banging on their floor to tell you to be quiet, or you're banging on their ceiling to please ask to turn the music down, it might not be the best environment for a newborn baby. There are some practical baby care skills that you will probably only learn once you become a dad. Changing nappies, general cleaning, feeding. But that said, you can get support from books like mine. And no doubt there are all sorts of tutorials online to show you how to feed a baby, or bath a baby, or put a baby to bed. The problem is, your baby will be unique. And I'm pretty sure every baby needs a very specific type of support, which unfortunately you can only really learn when they're here. I would also say your emotional state is an important thing to take into consideration. As someone who struggled with mental health for a long time, I actually found that becoming a dad gave me the grit and determination to kind of sort myself out a bit, drink less during the week, get to bed in a more reasonable time, eat a bit cleaner. What might be worth doing, if you have brothers and sisters or friends with young children, ideally babies, who you can babysit for an evening, or maybe take to the park so they can have some much needed time together, it might show you both how you are when you suddenly have to look after a baby together. And question number 3, and I think probably the biggest question, what will becoming a dad do to my life? Because I think that's the most profound question you can possibly ask. And there'll be a completely different answer for everyone. Becoming a parent has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's improved my relationship with my wife. It's helped me find skills I didn't realize I had. It's given me a drive to be better than I am for my children. And it's made me work way harder than I would do just for myself. When you become a dad, life will never be the same again. Your free time will evaporate and your priorities will shift. The identity shift of becoming James to becoming someone's dad can be emotional and challenging. I've read lots of articles that basically said that men were utterly surprised how much they changed, how much their fundamental wants and needs changed, their core values on life changed once they became a dad. Becoming a dad will also change your relationship with your partner, which is why it's really important, although this may sound utterly obvious, that you actually are with someone who you think would support you when times get difficult. Are you with someone who would stand by you if you lost your job? Are you with someone who would stand by you if your mental health got bad and you were really struggling? Are you with someone who has a good work ethic, who has a good sense of humour? Do you share core values? Are you with someone who wants a family? It might sound very unromantic, but sitting down and having these big conversations with someone might be one of the most important things you ever do before contemplating becoming a parent. And the 4th most searched question on fatherhood, how can I be a good dad? From my 13 or so years of experience, have a good sense of humour, keep working hard, make sure you're not the weak link in the partnership, don't go to bed on an argument, be kind to yourself as much as you are to other people, accept that some things happen but quite often are completely out of your control, and just accept that parenting is incredibly hard. So there are going to be days where you feel like you're not very good at it. I think if you're answering the question, how can I be a good dad? It's sometimes easier to ask the question, what doesn't make a good dad? Good dads take responsibility. Good dads aren't late. Good dads tell the truth. Good dads work hard. Good dads make the effort. Good dads support their partners. Good dads offer to do the night feed even when it's not their turn. Good dads bite their lip when their wife, who in your mind has been at home all day, asks you, who's been at work all day, to get milk on the way home. It's like anything in life. Keep turning up, keep being positive, and keep working hard. That's basically the advice I would give. And the 5th question most searched online in regards to fatherhood, what if I struggle? How do I cope with the challenges? You will have challenges. That is the only guarantee. And as I said in previous answers, a sense of humour is important. Some days just accept that some days were crap and try not to make the same mistakes tomorrow. Look after yourself, get good sleep, try and eat healthily, try not to drink too much. I promise you the first hangover you will have after becoming a parent will be brutal. Coping with the challenges that you are experiencing as a parent will be much easier if the person you're doing them with is on your side. Life as a dad is going to throw all sorts of crap your way. If your partner is nitpicking and giving you a hard time, talking you down, it will be fairly impossible. And as I talk about in my book, sorry for plug number 2, becoming a parent can have a significant impact on your mental health, just for the fact that you're not getting as much sleep. And if, like me, you're someone who has an existing mental illness, it's really important to be aware of your mental health. I found that taking up the hobby of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a few years after becoming a dad was really good, really helped me stay in some shape and improve my mental health, improve my resilience, and gave me some time away so that I really appreciated the time I spent with my family, as well as making sure that as much as you can, you and your partner are on the same page and you're supporting each other through the difficult parts of parenting. It's really important to try and join a community of other like-minded men. If you get on particularly well with the men on an antenatal class, stay in touch with them. No one is going to understand the challenges and struggles any better than another man who's in exactly the same position as you. One of the major things that appealed to me about training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is I made really good friendships with a number of dads who have kids the same ages as mine. It's basically free therapy. Now that I'm older, married with kids, do I have much more of a clue? Not particularly. What advice would I give to a younger man? Stockpile your sleep if you possibly can. Well, that's just silly. Try a daily cold shower, take up jiu-jitsu, put a little bit away. Focus on kindness, yourself included, and remember to seize the day.
Me and Neil really hope you got something from this video. And if you're a dad who would like to try and help me support other brand new dads by answering these 5 questions over a Zoom, please let me know in the comments. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're okay. Take care.